Welcome, everyone, to the Midnight Frogs podcast. Today, we are celebrating the release of Sergeant Frog Abridged, episode 21, and getting everyone caught up on what's going to be happening for much of the rest of the year. Today, I'm joined, as always, by Yoshi.
Hello, everyone.
Travis.
Hola, me gusta.
And Jacob.
Oh, God.
Go along, Jacob.
Oh, no. I don't want it.
Meow.
I don't even
sad
like
guitar riff.
I like a sad cat.
Meow.
Sad cat guitar.
Is there a cat guitar pedal? Meow, 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 meow.
My distortion pedal is a You Dirty Rat. Is that close enough?
I guess it works.
Anyway, let's get started with some updates. Starting with the Straw Hat No. Right now, Travis and I are working on getting out of our contract with Broadband Corp. That's the company we've signed up with to partner the Straw Hat No. The problem is, turns out our contract is a 5-year contract, and no way in hell are we going to be waiting that long, so we're busy on working that out. Once we're out of that, we're going to be joining up with Screenwave. If you guys are familiar with Cinemassacre, it's from the same guys who started that. They also handle AVGN's videos, along with Vinesauce. If you guys are wondering where any videos from us are, we've got a bunch lined up right now, but I'm waiting until we're either out of the contract and signed with Screenwave, or until June comes along, whichever one comes first. But at the very least, there are videos coming in the next couple of weeks, don't worry. Let's get to the status on some LPs that are kind of lagging for a bit. Travis, what's going on with Last of Us?
We're doing it a little bit different than we did the last one, mainly from the generational gap between one system to another. Since moving to the PS4 and playing The Last of Us Remastered on there, I'm basically just getting to the point where I was last time and having game footage captured of that. So you should be seeing that relatively soon. I'm almost there. So once I get there and start recording that stuff, you'll probably see that here in the next couple of weeks, maybe, something like that.
Sweet. I'm really looking forward to getting back to that. That thing was hysterical.
We left it on a really good note, too.
And now that I actually have The Last of Us and plan on playing it, I can finally watch it.
How about Bloodborne?
We recently did some recording, more recording of that. Because of the nature of how we do them, we record them in huge chunks, which making sending files a little bit difficult. Still getting that worked out. I'm going to be probably condensing the video down a little bit more so file sending becomes a little bit easier. But eventually they'll probably see that even sooner than Last of Us, because I already have the footage ready to go.
Yeah, I just need to get it. I'm also doing my own separate run of that. Part of that's going to be post-commentated. I've sent Travis a video. It's anticipating things Travis may or may not be doing, things you might have missed or what have you. But there's plenty of Bloodborne coming out along the way. Yoshi, how about Wind Waker?
Wind Waker's going along pretty well. I recorded 3 parts. One of them went up recently. There's 2 more left to commentate on. And I'm going to say that there's probably going to be roughly 2 to 4 probably 3 to 4 parts left until the Let's Play's all over. Because I recorded through the Earth Temple, through the Wind Temple, and now all I have to do is the Triforce Hunt. And then after that, it's just the last dungeon and game's over.
Awesome.
But when we tried to record a few days ago, we were all done, but my side, for whatever reason, didn't record all the way through. It only got about 2 minutes, so unfortunately we have to do it again. Sucks, but shit happens. That's never happened to me ever. That was actually the very first time where recording of mine just died, just for no reason whatsoever.
Yeah, we recorded again like the next day and everything was fine, so we don't know what happened.
Yeah, it just... So we have to redo that. Then we have to do the Wind Temple, and then after that is just the rest of the game. I wanted to save this until the 3rd video after the Wind Temple, but I want everybody to give me their last Tingle bottles now, because after I get to Triforce parts, I'm just going to wrap up the game. This Let's Play should be done by now.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to have everything recorded before my summer semester started, which is actually going to be in 7 days, but it's less classes because it's a summer semester, so whatever. I'll still be here, but I really wanted that to be done.
All right. Ocarina of Time 3D, we've recorded a batch of that. Again, that's just waiting until June or the contract gets dealt with. Parts of that are probably going to be coming a lot quicker than even some of our other LPs, because I'm finally getting around to bringing in some guest commentators. These next couple of parts are going to have Highwang and Chaos Argade joining us, if you're at all familiar with them. Chaos Argade in particular is helping out with Fairy Fortune's Blind LP of Ocarina of Time. And he's also guesting on this really cool glitch run of Ocarina of Time going on in SA. So he's pretty much in everything Ocarina of Time right now. And Highwing's just a funny guy who tends to be around everyone, apparently. Also, Harvest Moon, I've put those LPs on hiatus a little bit so that I could get some of the other threads active again, including Bloodborne, Ocarina of Time, and what have you. I did recently stream, I got a copy of Story of Seasons, which is the new Harvest Moon. It's just they couldn't use the name because of publishing rights and what have you. So that'll be going up in June or whenever. I don't know when I'm going to be continuing Tale of Two Towns or Hero of Leaf Valley, but I'm not going to wait until that particular thread drops into the archives. I don't want that to happen. So you'll see more parts of that within the next couple months at the very least. Also, more Skies of Arcadia is coming. That's actually going to be a little sooner than later as well. Right. That one we've been pretty consistent with, so. Because we have fun with that one. Right. And it's oddly popular, which I'm actually appreciating, because I'm like, yeah, some people love these games. It seems to be our most popular thread right now. Because Skies of Arcadia is awesome. That's the best answer you give. I feel like my job partially is to convince these guys that the game is kick-ass and can see reasons why it's one of my favorites. Actually, is my favorite. I wish I could get my hands on a copy, as unlikely as it is.
I was at a local video game store, and I went in there, and I saw a copy of the Dreamcast one, but I don't have a Dreamcast, and it was $70.
Jesus. Next, we had a patron podcast option on our Patreon, which we have not fulfilled on. We only had one recording session way back in October. So we want to bring that back. If you are a current patron and you have that selected, or you had that at any point, get with us so we can actually start doing some recording. We want to do that once or twice a month and on a consistent basis. And next, just a little fun bit of info. The old Punch-Out thread on SA actually got voted gold after the LP had finished, which was pretty cool because that's our first gold thread on SA. And if any of our LPs earned it, it was that one.
I'm just really glad that people like the Punch-Out Let's Play, because it started off as a thing that I just wanted to do because when I had no internet for a while, I was just playing that game over and over until I got it back. So thanks to everybody who made that possible. It was really fun to do. I'm really glad that Max in Smash Bros, even though he's seen as a joke, fuck you guys for that still. But thanks for watching. Boppa was really fun to do.
And he managed to punch the world with his feet, so it worked out.
And I did that once.
Some other updates. This was a little while ago, but Ask Deep Dash and Crazy Twilight passed its 3rd anniversary.
Yes, it's been 3 years since I started Ask Deep Dash and Crazy Twilight, and in order to celebrate that, I made my very first abridged video ever. And by that, I mean I edited that one. I can edit video footage too, apparently. I made a abridged short celebrating Rainbow getting eyes, because she's blind in the whole thing, and it was really fun to make, and a lot of people seem to like it. It was kind of hard to do a 3rd-year celebration without the other person, who currently has no computer, so it was just me celebrating with myself. But I'm pretty accustomed to that. I was gonna put that on the Midnight Frogs, but since Hasbro's kind of wonky when it comes to horse videos, I didn't...
horse videos in general.
You know, because I didn't want to, like, put it up there, and then they're like, alright, you just got 3 copyright strikes, faggot. Like, oh, great.
What's this Caro bullshit?
Yeah, so I put it on my channel. My new channel, actually, which is really just Mugiwara Yoshi. I didn't put it on my old one just because I looked through my old channel, and I just wanted a new start. Maybe I'll eventually put it on the Midnight Frogs, I don't know. But it was a lot of fun to make, and I'm really glad that people still like Dash and Twilight, and that's still going on. And thank you very much. If you want to see the video, I can link it in the chat or whatever. And yeah.
What is fuck?
And I'm gonna do more. What is fuck? I'm gonna do more abridged videos.
Maybe don't fuck me. Don't fuck.
I'm gonna be making more abridged shorts because it was a lot of fun to do, and it only took me like 3 days to make.
I liked it, definitely.
Yeah, it was really funny.
Well, I'm glad you did, because I was lip syncing everything. I'm like, I'm pretty sure somebody's gonna look at that and be like, yeah, that looks wrong. All of it, just everything is bad.
Well, YouTube says stuff like that, but who cares what they think?
Well, not in that case. I mean, like, the people who, like, abridge, like, you know, edit all the time, they're like, yeah, there was, like, 3 frames where the mouth flap was open. We didn't like that.
Hey, Thorn makes fun of my editing all the time, so if he says that yours is good, then you're doing pretty good.
It was acceptable. I mean, like...
so I should have brought it up.
I'm not going to get on his case, because Western animation is so hard to re-lip sync, because it's so precise. Anime, you have the benefit, they only use, like, 3 lip flaps.
And it's always just... Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, that's why in the video some of my dialogue actually synced up perfectly, because I actually didn't have to do much editing, but other times I had to like keep their mouths open, and that was just difficult because there's just way more animation in the frames than in an anime.
Considering what you were given, I think you did pretty good.
Well, thank you.
You come from me, that means something.
It means more.
Travis, go fuck yourself.
And Skies of Arcadia is dumb too.
Oh.
Next, Jacob and I are going to be starting a music review channel.
Yeah.
We haven't yet.
No.
Nothing's really happening with that right now, but something kind of cool. Travis and I talked with people from Screenwave, and I mentioned the idea to them, and they said that would be something that would work perfectly with their network, because it's not just a gaming network, it's pretty much all general entertainment.
Kind of media-based networking, so music and pretty much everything.
And from the sounds of it, it doesn't sound like they have a music criticism channel, so seems like we might have our niche there. I'm thinking for like the first video, since Jacob's kind of working with other stuff, for my first video, it's going to be kind of a catch-up of some of my favorite albums that have come out this year. Because there's been a lot of great music, and at least one of them is a legit masterpiece that's going to last the times. So I'm pretty excited to talk about it.
My first video, whenever I get to actually making it, I already have a good chunk written. It's just going to be a simple thing, my top 10 least favorite artists, because I just feel like bitching. And then I'm going to do my top 10 favorite, and then I don't really know all of what I'm going to do. I think I want to kind of focus on more popular music, since I've been listening to a lot of pop recently, and I've been following the charts like a nerdy piece of shit. And like just scattered like retrospectives, reviews of albums or songs, top 10s, top 5s, etc. Just kind of like what I have planned for my gaming channel, the main Jiggly Jacob channel, except more music focused.
I think you and I will be handling enough different things that we'll be able to cover a lot of ground on our own.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to starting that. We haven't come up with a name quite yet. I don't know. Keep an eye on our respective Twitters, and we'll let you know when that's up.
Jiggly brain.
We'll see. Next, this has nothing to do with us necessarily, but I wanted to let you all know the original members of Rare, the guys who did Banjo-Kazooie, the original devs and a lot of the real masterminds behind the company have come together as a group, Playtonic Games. They recently started the Kickstarter for their new game, Yooka-Laylee, which is Banjo-Kazooie in basically every possible way they could do it without getting sued. But from the looks of things, it's looking like the kind of game that everyone, including myself, has wanted. I know, like, some people are a little testy about it because it is Banjo-Kazooie again, but not with Banjo-Kazooie. But Rare isn't doing anything good with Banjo-Kazooie anymore, so I'm kind of okay with that.
Yeah.
Also, it's just looking interesting. So look up Yooka-Laylee, Yooka-Laylee. It's a pun on the instrument. And it's looking pretty interesting.
I'm hoping that this game does really well, because it's basically needs to tell all the developers, hey, you know all those platformer games you acting like don't sell? Look at this game. It's selling awesome. Fuck all of you. You need to start making platformers again.
It did insanely well on the Kickstarter in an hour.
It passed its first goal within an hour.
And I've never played Banjo-Kazooie before because I grew up with a PlayStation, but like even saying that, I'm really excited for this game. It looks really good.
I love a good platformer. I mean, it's accessible, I think, to most people, but it has always a good combination of simplicity but difficulty.
I've always had a soft spot for really colorful games, and this game just absolutely looks beautiful, and that's kind of what's mostly drawing me towards it, since I have no like nostalgic connections to the idea.
Wonder what happened with Rare. I mean, they were making so many good games, and then they just kind of gave up.
Well, they got bought by Microsoft, and
that's the end of the story.
Nobody liked working for Microsoft.
And Microsoft claimed that they were able to do whatever they want, but then why did all those other, veteran Rare people leave and say that they weren't able to do what they wanted? They wanted to do Banjo 3. That never happened. Then
they did Nuts and Bolts instead, which is
then they got to
shitty.
do Banjo 3, and then they were like, well, walking sucks, so let's put cars in it.
And you have 3 weeks to finish it. Good luck. Turns out the lights.
With no power. Make a game, go.
Do we have some of the Bandicoots together? Just stick them together with glue.
But it's just for another game altogether. Do it! I'm not like the biggest Banjo-Kazooie fan, but I can at least respect the characters enough. I played the first and second. Didn't really grab me. Maybe if I play them now, I'll like them. But they did make Conker's Bad Fur Day, and also Donkey Kong Country 64. I really did like some of the Rareware platformers, also the country games. So I'm really hoping that this will be like the revival of more platforming games. Because, Mario's cool and all, but it's like, there's him and who else?
Yeah.
For whatever reason, I just think a lot of the developers are under the impression that children don't play PlayStations or Xboxes, which couldn't be further from the truth.
Yeah.
Plus, also, you're completely missing with, both a casual and nostalgic gamer type that would play something like that. But I don't know. I can't think for like marketers do. Marketers are kind of backwards that way.
For some reason, older developers just haven't been wanting to revive the older franchise lately. That's why we've been getting so many spiritual successors. Like there's Yooka-laylee, there's that Castlevania one, there's Mighty Number 9 for Mega Man. I think this really opens the door for a lot of other things that could have spiritual successors. Like I'm thinking just off the top of my head, like maybe we can get like a Crash Bandicoot kind of thing, since we haven't seen Crash in years, and the last time we saw him, it blew major chunk.
I know a lot of what you said were like Japanese games, which we won't even get into why Japanese game markets are fucking up right now. But there's a lot of those platformers and a lot of those character types that just gave up on. And if as you said, like there needs to be more Metrovania games. Those are super popular. There needs to be more platform games that are super popular. But for whatever reason, the fathers of those particular creations just don't care anymore. I don't know.
Maybe they just see the success of mainstream games, like most all the first-person shooters, Assassin's Creed, etc., and say, hey, we should, or like even mobile games, like that's apparently what Konami's going to be doing. They see that and they want to go towards that, even though what they're already doing is going to be quite successful.
I think what's going to happen, and we're kind of seeing it already, is that the cost of games is increased dramatically. So like a lot of these games that they're trying to create for today's markets are costing too much. So the ones that are making all these profits are these platformer-based indie games, ones that are a little bit more simple in design. So I think it's going to force a lot of these people to actually start going back to that, which is good because it stops us from seeing all the same game over and over again like we are now. I think the bubble's about to burst.
And I'm looking forward to that.
Maybe this is like some weird way where the 90s is coming back. Like, hey, remember Banjo-Kazooie? Well, here's not them. Mega Man? Well, here's not him. Castlevania? Well, here's not that.
There's guitar harmonica. It's a wolf and a parrot.
Harmonica? You mean Harmonica Hero?
Yep.
No. Harmonica Paragon or something.
Yep.
Oh.
Harmonica Cleric.
Well, keep in mind, all trends go in cycles. Like, if you even look at music, anything that was popular in the 70s tends to come back around, like came back around the 90s. 90s, it's been 20 years, and now it's back. It goes about 20, 30-year cycles. So it's the time for it to be back.
Right.
At least in music, it will still get people to make the things that are not considered popular, even if, say, the radio's not going to play it. Video games, it always turns into, oh, I guess we're just going to stop making platformers then, and then nobody does it. And it makes no sense to me.
And then, like, an indie developer will do it, and everybody's like, why can't the bigger companies do that? And then the bigger companies are like, well, you don't buy them.
Games are moving to mobile phones. Bullshit.
Yeah, exactly. Like, the PS4 is sold, what, 20 million units? I don't see the idea that most people play games on their phones now. I mean, I don't know. I know hardly any people whose main source of video games is a phone.
I mean, there's a lot of money in mobile gaming, but why not do both? You know?
Yeah.
It doesn't take much work to make mobile games. You could have a department make mobile-based games and a department making console-based games. And most developers could have a couple people doing mobile games. It takes maybe one person to make a mobile game. A lot of the most popular games was made by a guy.
Yeah, like, I don't know what Sega's doing on consoles lately, like, other than Sonic Boom. But, they ported Choo Choo Rocket to mobile. It's like one of the only mobile games I've ever bought. And it's so good. Like, it's a perfect mobile game. I love just bringing it out and playing it every once in a while when I'm bored. And they're still making console games, quality aside. They're still making them. So I think that that's a good example.
I think part of it is companies are looking towards the money, and for some reason they think the money is in a lot of microtransactions, things like what goes on with Candy Crush. I follow a podcast called Geeks and Beats, and they recently found out of maybe 100 people or so, maybe 3 will actually spend extra money to keep playing. But one person out of those 3 will spend money to play it consistently. So I'm guessing they have no idea actually where the money is coming in.
Or they're just underestimating the intelligence of people in general.
Welcome to the corporate
They're trying to
lifestyle.
exploit all the people who are easily addicted.
Yeah.
Huh. Video games.
Video game. We need more video games like they did in the 90s.
That's another thing. Like in the 90s, there were all sorts of properties, and well, in the 80s too, like all sorts of properties and things. Like you didn't really think it would stick and last forever. I mean, be honest. In the 80s, if you were born in the 80s, would you honestly think, oh yeah, the Ninja Turtles, that's gonna last forever?
Yeah, good point.
Also, I just don't understand this need of sending out an unfinished game with low replay value and then having you pay to get extra stuff to give it replay value. That was never a problem back then. Like, you could make a game you could play multiple times and enjoy. Why is it so hard to do that now?
Yeah, I'm playing Bayonetta 2 right now. I'm loving every second of it. And one thing I'm noticing as I'm playing through the game is there's like so many nooks and crannies you can look in to find secret things so you can get stuff like new costumes, new weapons, even probably some concept art too. That's one great way to give a game replay value. Just give it a lot of places to look. Maybe you can find like another battle, or maybe you'll find an item to use to make battles more fun. I think that that's one of the best ways to give a game the ability to play through it more than once, plus just make it a great game. I plan on playing Bayonetta 2 until I die.
And the nice thing, I mean, Platinum's known to have a couple DLCs, but they've never been like huge into putting a bunch of DLCs out. Same with From. You know, they'll release something new for our Soul series, maybe like one little DLC thing, but more often than not, the meat of everything in that game and the replay value comes from the main game. It's not like, oh, you didn't know, now from this update you can gain 3 more levels to your character like Destiny does.
Yeah, at the very least, From when they have someone with a vision like Miyazaki, who did Dark Souls, Demon Souls, Bloodborne. It's that case. Dark Souls 2, he was just a supervisor, and that one ended up a lot more. Here's 3 DLCs that still don't finish the story. And here's an additional proper expansion that actually kind of gives a resolution. Oh, you need to actually buy it separately.
That being said, I think that DLC can very easily be done right. I think Nintendo's kind of done that. Like with Mario Kart, you get a ton of content on Mario Kart 8 default, and then you get even more content for a good value. Like it's what, $12 for 8 new tracks? I think that's a great value. And that's kind of the best way to do DLC right. Make it reasonably priced, make sure it's worth the money, and then more people will be willing to buy. I think, come to think of it, I've hardly bought any DLC. I can't think of any other than Mario Kart, and I plan on buying any future Super Smash Brothers DLC, but other than that, like that's the only one I bought because I think it's completely worth the money.
Yep, for some reason, Nintendo really sucks at anything having to do with internet, yet they seem to be doing amazingly well with DLC.
Yeah. Nintendo's good at a lot of things. It's just there's so many things that's holding them back that they're bad at, and none of them has to do with the quality of the games or their ideas or anything.
I think we're just going to live in an era where they're never not going to do DLC, as much as I kind of just want a game to be complete within itself, because it's too easy of money. More often than not, there's a lot of the games out there that you play that just don't feel like a full experience until you start getting those DLC stuff, which punishes anyone who buys it when it first comes out. And it lowers interest in anyone replaying the thing, because you're having to, oh yeah, you spent $60 on this game, spend another $25 to make it playable.
Yeah. That's why I like Mario Kart 8 so much. It feels like a complete game on its own, but it does what DLC should do. It expands on something that's already a good value. It should take a finished product and, for lack of a better term, finish it even more. Just give you more to do in this game that's already worth every cent on its own.
What I think they should do more often, and every studio should do this, along with any kind of paid DLC they have, they need to give away free DLCs.
Yeah.
Just a couple, if it's an extra character you can play as, if it's an extra set of armor you can get, just something you can reward the players for thinking, hey, you bought my game, thanks, here's something you can have for free. Then you'll get people interested in paying for that sort of stuff more often.
Nintendo actually did that with Mario Kart 8, 200cc.
Yeah.
Totally free.
So Mario Kart 8 is just the best example of DLC, it seems.
Mario Kart 8 is better than all your games.
Yeah. Mario Kart 8 is a damn fine game, though.
I mean, me personally, I have my issues with 200cc, but I'm just glad that I didn't have to pay for that because it was just free.
Like, the tracks just don't feel like they're made to go that fast.
Yeah, some tracks work perfectly fine with 200cc, but, it's totally obvious that, this track was not designed with this idea in mind. 200cc was totally a thing that came up at the last second, because when they had the DLC, they had the first pack and the second one. That's all we knew. It wasn't until they put it in a direct, they're like, hey, guys, 200cc. Which was cool and free, but it was an extra thing that they came up with. And I was glad, I was okay with that, because it was free. Unlike the other things that I actually paid for. I actually wanted those, and they ended up being the better value in the end.
So if you're trying to think of how to do DLC for a platformer, here's the thought. Try to make challenge maps. have those sent out for free, and just have people, you could always have some kind of contest or something. You can do things that'll attract hardcore players to it, and you'll still have interest of people that are everyday players. And the reason why they're not doing platformers is because they can't think of proper DLC. That would be bullshit. But I'm trying to just rewrite it back to our original subject.
What was our original subject?
Yooka-laylee.
Yooka-laylee.
Yeah.
Get Yooka-laylee when it comes out.
Or support it right now.
Wow, it's 15th round draft pick of the Oakland Raiders in 86.
Yooka-laylee.
Yooka-laylee. Hey, kids. Remember me? Crickets.
What do you play, Mr. Yooka-laylee? Xylophone.
Play Gushers.
I play Splatoon.
Go long, Billy.
Wow, it's 40-time rejected candidate for the NFL Cowboys. Derek.
NFL Cowboys.
I didn't even get a proper name.
Son, do you even watch sports?
Splatoon for the Wii U.
Go away, Billy.
Go long, Billy. Out of my house.
Anyway, Surge, sir, it's a Splatoon commercial.
I think we've hit all the points there we could possibly hit.
Yeah. Let's move on.
All right, couple quick Midnight Frogs updates before we talk about SFA. Tamers Abridged and Jetters Abridged are going to be, for all intents and purposes, stagnant. I want to focus on finishing SFA, so I have no particular interest in going back to Tamers or Jetters right now. I'm not saying they're permanently dead, but after SFA Season 3 is over, I don't really see myself wanting to go back to Abridging. So don't expect anything new from them. Also, SFA 22, shortly after we finished 21, Olivia and I got a little head start on the script for 22. Haven't been able to get together since. But once that's finished, we're going to go ahead and do that episode. I wanted to do one new episode a month, but I've had to pull that back due to a couple things. The main one being we haven't been able to write since, but also because I don't want the Straw Hat No to just sit by the wayside. So it's probably going to be 1 month dedicated SFA, the other dedicated Straw Hat No. Also, I've been wanting to get Jordan Excalibur joining in with the script writing. He wasn't able to join in SFA 21 because he didn't have the internet. I checked Twitter to see if he wanted to write with this one. He said, I just threw up in my bed, so I guess that ain't happening either.
Oh, God.
He did as he was typing?
Oh, God.
Sure, the bot, never mind.
I was like, right as I was thinking, I wonder if he would write with that. I'm sick, so nope. But I did have, just as an additional thing, after the SFA Season 3 is over, something I wanted to do, I have my Midnight Frogs folder in my computer, and in that, I have this little miscellaneous files, bunch of old files, which I just keep there, because I don't want to get rid of them, but I don't really have a use for them anymore. So I'm thinking after Season 3, I'm going to have the stream where I just go through that, look all the weird, random fan art, short videos, little audio clips, text files that I have for whatever reason, and just share that with everyone. It's sure to be an interesting read, because there's some stories behind the weird shit in there. Moving on to SFA, episode 21. As I mentioned before, I did write this one with Olivia. If you don't know who that is, also known as an artist complex, my girlfriend. She's been on the podcast a couple of times. She's been on the Straw Hat No a couple of times. Writing that with her and working on the episode managed to get my excitement for the series back in a way that hasn't been with me in a long time. At least not since I revived it with SFA Reset. So that's a good sign at the very least. I was pretty happy with how the episode came out. What'd you guys think?
I loved it.
It felt like like one of the normal episodes. I liked it. It was good.
I thought it was a good comeback for the time that it wasn't going.
I think I commented that like half the jokes that I ended up liking are ones that Olivia actually wrote. So
yeah,
that's another thing. I actually couldn't tell who wrote what.
She slotted in perfectly. She was kind of uneasy about it, but it's like after the episode, it was like, no, you're basically perfect for this. There was a couple of voice actor change-ups. First, Shaz My Bot, in the previous episode, he voiced Dokuku. In the interim between that episode and this one, which was an entire year, and I do apologize for that. I didn't want for that to happen again. But he and pretty much everyone in Gutter Rent Studios, I'm guessing, have stopped voice acting. So he said, yeah, I've hung up my microphone. So I asked Jacob to voice Dokuku.
Yes.
He also did his brother Giru, I think.
Yeah.
I had the name completely wrong until I actually got down to script writing. So
yeah, Giru.
But also, after the episode came out, I had the thought, well, if Shaz isn't voicing anymore, I should probably check and see if Revi is still voicing too. And she said, no, she's pretty much stopped that.
Aw.
So Revi Moonshine will no longer be voicing Koyuki, which I'm glad I got that out of the way now because Koyuki is a main character in episode 22.
That's sad. She was so good.
Yeah, and she was always one of the easiest voice actors on the team. Always recorded super fast. Her replacement, I went ahead and asked Shadow, our friend Mariah, if she would like to be Koyuki, and her response was ... yes. So she'll be in that. But unfortunately, as Yoshi mentioned earlier, she doesn't have a computer right now. So we'll see how that goes. Also, just a small thing in case anyone was confused. Jacob, previously he was credited as a Smash Bro. In this, I credit him as Jiggly Jacob, since he's going by that now. And John, also known as JFace92, he's going by Infamous Gentleman. So I decided to credit him as that as well. If anyone was confused by that, it's the same people. They're just using different usernames.
Yeah, I haven't changed form yet since I changed usernames.
Jacob is permanently Jiggly forever.
Forever. I've always been Jiggly. It just took me a while to realize it.
The guy with no weight on him's Jiggly. Yeah, sure.
I've gained 10 pounds since I moved out of my parents' place. Shut up. I actually have.
You have some Jiggly now? Congratulations.
Well, I've always had Jiggly on my tummy, but let's move on.
Anyway, to the next topic, Jiggly stomachs. Perfect, we just brought that up. Good segue.
Oh, cool.
Well, fittingly enough, this has to do with puking.
Yay!
Excalibur.
Excalibur. No. In the episode, I got a couple of questions about this. Because in the episode, Doro goes from having his laptop broken after the end of Askiro Doro to barfing up a brand new one because he can do that. So I've been asked if Askiro Doro is going to be coming back. And I'm going to tentatively say it's possible. I hadn't really thought about it. It was just a joke at the time. But it's been a while since Askiro Doro went down. And I figure, I guess in the interim between episodes, that's perfectly acceptable.
But when you say different, it's like, does one actually sell bells and the other one just sells regular groceries?
Yes, but no.
One sells bells, one sells Texas-sized bells, y'all.
No,
There he is.
there we go.
We filled in the blanks pretty well, I think. We talked about groceries.
And Jacob winning the war against Kmart.
But no, they're both spelled exactly the same. They're both apparently, I think they're named after two different people who have the last name Bell. And people always come into our store like, "Oh, I have a Bell's car," but no, this is.
Oh, well,
one
I think you can say,
Texas.
"Oh, I have Bell's palsy. I'm so sorry."
What? People always come in like, "I have diabetes." I'm like, "Okay, ma'am, can you
What
pay
a
me with a credit card?"
what a coincidence.
young man.
Like, that's nice. Buy a pair of underwear and get out.
Why? I wasn't in here for that. Buy it, I said.
You still have the bells in the soda shop?
No, then there's Bell's Outlet, which is like throughout the South.
I know this is really interesting commentary, people.
Are we
Our
even
growth-
live now?
Can they hear us though?
Oh, I guess we are. Hi.
Oh, we're back.
You what? You didn't think we were actually live?
We weren't for all of that.
Right.
Like Thorn was offline.
Are we back?
Yes, we are live again. Should be. I just need to check and make sure it recorded.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Yeah, everything recorded fine.
Okay, cool.
Oh yeah.
Just shut up, Knuckles.
No.
Oh no.
Nope.
All right, sorry about that, folks. My computer decided to half crash. Like, my screen went black, and I could still hear the guys talking, but nothing else happened.
Yeah, we tend to do that.
We tend to haunt things.
We just crash people's computers and we just keep talking about grocery stores to them.
I blame Kmart.
Well, they couldn't hear you.
Oh.
You missed our great stories about grocery stores.
Why do you think I'm the one streaming? How do you think they could hear you? No, it wasn't sleep mode. I don't have sleep mode active. It was like a literal half crash. It's happened to me before. It's weird.
Well, you were talking about Gyrodoro, so...
Right. Like I was thinking, it's possible I could come back. I guess I could do an episode or two in the interim between episodes, since I'm going to be spacing SFA episodes out every other month. Maybe there'll be more. I'll let you guys know if I do start up another Tumblr. I might start uploading episodes to YouTube as well. We'll see.
Sorry, I just read an article on my Facebook that said ancient snakes had ankles and toes.
Of course.
Just ankles and toes, no legs.
Yeah, I know, no legs, just the ankles and the toes.
Not even feet.
Well, Travis does have his own podcast.
Well, not my own yet.
Well,
'Cause if I had my own, it'd be ridiculous.
Well, you're in it. I know you show up.
Yeah. I do need to do one just telling stories.
Yes, you do.
Here on Travis Talk.
I can't believe I have so many listeners. This is terrifying. Why do you care about my lifestyle?
Tell the story about the Whataburger and the screwdriver.
Well, no. I do remember getting really sick off of Whataburger gravy. Maybe I shouldn't have eaten it at 2:30 a.m. It was on my birthday, too. I have the worst luck on my birthday. I really do. I think I've gotten like a bloody nose on every birthday I've ever had.
Oh, wow.
Why?
I don't know, my nose, the air around here it gets really dry and really moist, like just suddenly. And I have like really sensitive membranes, I guess. So like if air changes really bad, like I just remember I was at a Mexican restaurant for my birthday, and as I'm getting the happy birthday to you, just blood just and all it is happy birthday. Because they stopped to notice what happened.
La salsa's coming out of his nose.
Imagine when you were born, that you were born with a bloody nose, and then they use the footage of you being born for an Andrew WK commercial.
Party hard, this baby gets it.
That baby was coming out to party. I got food poisoning on gravy. That also happened on my birthday. I know, there's nothing to do with social talk at all.
You'd be surprised.
We'd find a way. It's a good segue.
Episode 22.
Yeah.
All right, where was I? The line sounded like my dad when he left. I actually took that from episode 2R, so that's an old-ass joke. I did like the joke, but not so much the context that we ended up using it in, because when we originally wrote the line, it was going to be something Fuyuki said, but the scene didn't work with that, so we gave it to Aki. I just thought that would probably work in this scene, because it's a weird thing to say, to follow up on anything.
I remember that now.
I try to keep R's out of my brain.
Yeah. Well, good, because then the joke is fresh.
Completely original.
There might have been a couple things I took from the joke vault as well, but I don't remember. Next, the culmination of Tamama's pregnancy. I'm not apologizing for it, by the way. But we did almost take the actual birth too far. While we were watching the episode where Tamama does this big fart attack, because that's his thing. Originally what happens is they feed him a shit ton of soda, and then he farts. I don't know why he does that. I don't know what that's going to do against a vapor ghost. But he does it. And for a split second, Olivia and I both had the idea of changing the fart to a red color. And we're like, no, we're not going to do that. That's too much.
Oh, God.
That wouldn't make sense anyway.
I would have died.
Fucking who unleashes blood gas when they give birth?
Yeah, plus you'd have to change the line to the top. Mama!
Now I'm back on the topic of birth. Like, fucking, I now imagine just red smoke coming to give the birth to some evil fucking demon baby or something. Just fucking red vagina smoke.
It would work.
That's a band name. Red Vagina Smoke.
And then, like, evil tiny laugh, like,
We don't need a fog machine for our live shows.
A baby playing a small pipe organ just like looks like the Phantom of the Opera. Pops up. Brum, 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 brum.
We don't need a fog machine, but we can only play every 9 months.
We're exclusive like that.
So when Yoshi told the original episode to me, it didn't process with me that everyone thought it was supposed to be Karo's baby. So that's why Karo is always taking care of the kid and Tama has no real involvement. It's because it kind of ended up that way. But I thought it worked with their relationship because it's pretty clear they would both be shitty parents.
yeah.
Thank God they only had the kid for 2 days. When I made that joke at the end of episode 18, it was just a joke. I had no intention of actually following through on it. But when this episode came around, the episode with Dokuku and Giruru is only half of a full 30-minute episode. And I thought, it's been a year. We need to put a little bit more into this. So that's why half of it is Dokuku, the other half is the baby.
I like the idea that they start fighting ghosts and then they end it with having a baby. Like, their days just must be full of so many interesting things.
And that's going to be happening with the next episode. The episode with Robobo is only a half, but I'm going to add on a second half, which this isn't a spoiler, but more of a teaser. we're going to be showing HQ in the flesh for the first time.
Oh, shit.
So look forward to that. You're going to get a shit ton of Jacob, 2 in a row.
Oh.
It's gonna get jiggly all over the place.
Get jiggly with it. No. I just want HQ to just be something you don't expect. Just like a praying mantis inside of like a bowl of cereal.
Why?
I am the leader of the...
Oh boy, cornflakes! Like, whoa.
What are you doing?
Don't eat me. No.
Or it's a caterpillar drowning in a cup of coffee.
With a gun.
With a fucking
So it's
gun.
just burning to death and shooting randomly?
Through its cup.
Like, shit, I was out of water. I could have made a gargling effect.
Yeah, it should just be literally Jacob.
Just like plaster my face onto whatever you plan on doing it.
No, just have like these reaction shots of like the code. Oh my god! It cuts to you in your room. I am.
I'm ready. I'm ready.
I am in the ship. Clearly.
It's just, we have like a green screen with Seth Jacob stand there.
But we don't change the green screen to anything, so it's just a green screen.
Well, I could do that. At work, we have this really weird fucking just plain lime green wrapping paper that I could just take some and then tape on my wall. SFA writing live. Here we go.
Well, you're going to have to write this next episode with us then.
Oh, maybe. I don't know.
Oh.
Wait a minute, I have to do things? No.
Well, if you do go with the caterpillar and the coffee idea, you have to get like realistic footage though.
Okay. I'll go looking for a caterpillar right now. Here I go. I didn't leave.
Do you just have a pile of caterpillars out there? Like that seems like such a difficult thing to just find inexplicably.
I was gonna go look. It's gonna be like I would see a butterfly and like, you son of a bitch.
I didn't put that in the list. That I took from Excalibur's run as Kazu in Tamers Abridged because that was a hilarious laugh.
And just skanking with the holding the camera phone.
Fuki was a lot of fun to write in this.
When he sent me the clip, I had to stop because it was so just like the clip was already good enough, but that like just pushed me over the edge to laughing. Just how goofy the laugh was.
I'm glad we can make Fuki stupid again. Next, we put a couple of song references. First, when Karo's kind of mumbling in his sleep, that's actually the lyrics to Apex Predator Easy Meat by Napalm Death.
Yep.
I had Yoshi read it out just as he's mumbling it. I didn't let him hear the song. When he was over, he was like, that wasn't even remotely close, was it? And I said, no, the song is a drone.
I think it's always best when we give Yoshi a song that he's never heard before. It always works out best.
Unfortunately, the next song he had heard, but...
Like Busy Clippers. Him screaming.
Yoshi had actually heard Baby Come Back, though. So,
Yeah,
And you haven't.
that was actually
And
that was actually a song I recognized.
and I had never heard it until Olivia came up with it.
I know I've made references to that song and you didn't react. I was like, wait, he's not reacting to a song reference? And I was like, oh, I guess you haven't heard it.
I think it got famous through a Swiffer commercial.
What?
No, that is
What,
not the
really?
reason it became
What?
famous.
Like a mop on the floor.
The song came out like 30 years ago. It only got
Well, that's
popular
where
from Swift commercial.
That's I don't know, that's where I first heard it. Like somebody was using a Swiffer. It's like, you'll never go back to your old mop
Oh,
again.
so
And then
you heard of it from the Swiffer commercial. It didn't become famous from the Swiffer commercial.
I just assume that shit for some reason. Like I do that all the time.
Oh yeah,
It's
that's
like-
the song that became popular through the Gushers commercial. I remember.
Yeah, no one heard that shit 30 years ago when it was made.
When it became a hit.
Yep.
No, it was,
That would be amazing.
oh god, now I'm just being reminded of Mop. Just like in that commercial, just Mop turns his head around the corner.
Baby, come back.
You can blame it all on me.
Yeah.
Pulling out the mop voice is just so easy sometimes. Damn, man. I need to mop this shit up. Swiffer my ass.
Down to smoke.
Red vagina smoke.
Moving on to why Omio was in this episode. If you recall from episode 2, we actually had her exorcised from the house because Yoshi and I just had no idea what to do with her. In the original episode 2R, the only line I could give her was derp because I didn't know anything else to do with her. So we're just like, let's just get rid of her. So, of course, this episode comes along and she's central to the plot and I can't edit around her.
If I remember correctly, like, the episodes that I had originally chosen, she wasn't in any of them at all. But then again, she barely does anything in the actual show and the manga, so I think this is probably her biggest break ever.
Yeah.
I liked her in this, though.
She's a good character, they just don't do anything with her.
Yeah, and I had no idea it was Chess until I read the credits. That voice sounds so familiar. Who is it? Oh yeah, it's somebody I've known for 4 years. Pardon me.
Well, I knew because she told me.
Oh. Well, that's good. Oh, God, she didn't tell me.
Well, we were recording for Rarity.
I liked her voice. I don't know if I'm going to be using the character again, though, because we couldn't do anything with her anyway. But
Yeah.
Just stating I'm a ghost, and that's about it.
She had some good lines though. Like, but I don't know if none of them really like this, what's the word? Like showing a personality. They were just some really good jokes.
she was just there because she had to be there.
Yeah.
I think it's supposed to be attached to that.
I like how it's worded.
Oh yeah, I'll just jump ahead to that. I could see why Yoshi originally wasn't too interested in doing the Shirara episodes when he was still writing for the series, because all of the Shirara episodes fucking suck. They are incredibly stupid. Nothing good happens with them. Well, I guess that's Sergeant Frog in a nutshell, but
I mean, if you had to compare it to like the episode, why am I blanking on his name so bad?
Garu?
The other villain, Garu. The Garu episode seemed like it had much more of a story significance. So it was a lot easier to pull stuff from it, and there was less of these just random cutaway shots that the Shirara Core one does, or it's just like there's no reference to where they are. It just there's a million different speed lines and random kanji. It's such a pain in the ass to edit those episodes down.
Well, the Garu platoon, they actually are pretty important to Sergeant Frog. In the manga, there's a whole story about them and everything. So Sergeant Frog doesn't really have much of a story going on, but when it does, yes, something. Which is why the Garu episodes were pretty good. But the thing about the Shirara Corps is that all of those, I remember when I was trying to find stuff about them, they're not in the manga. Those are just fan characters that they had a contest, and they just made episodes around all these wacky fan characters, which is why they look really weird.
That's why that line, they were the strongest, now we're facing the dumbest, is very appropriate.
yeah. And which is why Omio tries to take care of Dokuku by having a fucking play.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that's something I kind of totally forgot watching this episode, that I knew that, but I just didn't remember. But I like their designs. Like, the guys who drew it, I'm sure, did a good job. Just the show didn't do jack shit with them.
Which is another reason why I added the baby to the second half. Because otherwise it's just this shit.
The baby was honestly like probably the more cohesive part.
It really was.
The ghost part is so like strange. It's different.
You did do good as him, though, Jacob.
Yeah, I'm not saying that.
Yeah, I recognized it was you instantly. That you were doing both.
But one thing that I thought with the baby, the part where you showed that the baby got really huge, I thought that they were just sitting on opposite sides of the room of each other and they're like trying to ignore each other, like, because I didn't see the perspective that Carol was in front of the baby. I thought it was like, when two friends have a fight and they sit on the opposite sides of their room, like pouting. I thought that was what was happening.
The baby and the adult had a fight. Fine, be hungry, you bastard.
Goes to the corner, he's just like, fucking baby, be me an argument, god damn it.
Okay, smarty pants.
Smarty diaper.
In the theater scene, Tamama says Macbeth, and if you don't know what was happening there, a spotlight fell on Kululu. That's a joke about this superstition in theater where if you say the name of the play Macbeth, something bad happens. I'm a smartass. If I were on stage, I would scream Macbeth constantly because I just like to mock superstitions. But that's what that's a reference to. I don't know how well known that is outside of theater or stage or what have you.
I learned it from Jimmy Neutron, so.
Yeah, you might have heard it in a couple places too.
That's where it became famous, right?
Oh my god.
Did you know Jimmy Neutron invented that?
You're welcome to Shakespeare.
Oh no, the lead voice actor broke his leg. How can he voice without his leg?
I picked it up in the recording.
Next, Fuyuki's Hitler line. One, that's a joke about YouTube comments. But another, that was also one of Olivia's lines. And it was easily my favorite line in the entire episode. Fuyuki, of all people, would be positive about that.
I mean, I don't know. I think that line is tied with the positivity that I liked, along with, guess what, Sarge? I no longer believe in God.
Exactly.
It's just such a goofy voice. He's saying these things is what makes it better.
At last I had power.
Yeah, finally.
This is why you guys do not voice Fuyuki.
At last I have power.
Like I even did an attempt.
At last I have power. Do a Michael McDonald version.
Ain't no Hitler high enough. Hitler high enough.
Ain't no Hitler low enough.
Next, Caro's manglings of the no I in team thing. The second one, there's no I in team, there's an E and an A. That's something a real life person said out loud. I was at college, I was walking home, I think, from like science class, and this girl on the phone, she was just yelling into it, there's no I in team, CJ. There's an E and an A, and I had to turn away to make sure I didn't laugh out loud. Like, I want to hope it was a spelling mistake and not a legit misunderstanding of what that means, but I put that into the joke vault forever ago. I was glad I was finally able to use it here. The first instance in the episode of you can't spell team without an I, that was me fucking it up again while we were script writing. I was trying to say what I had written in the joke vault, but I completely mangled it when I wasn't thinking. And it was funnier anyway, so we used that instead. Sometimes your fuck-ups are funnier than what you intended.
Yeah.
Tracy, that's 5 times fast. Give a fuck. Still my favorite fuck up. It's still my favorite fuck up ever.
Fuck you, Travis.
Oh my god.
And look, us fucking up is kind of like a thing we do. Remember the whale?
That was a fuck-up.
What, did we kill one? Like, what's... When did that happen?
For Mystery Dungeon.
A typo,
Oh.
stupid.
That was a capo.
Capo.
The whale was like when I first started watching you guys, the whale was one of my favorite characters for some reason. Probably because I was just a very easily amused 15-year-old.
Probably.
I'm an easily amused almost 20-year-old.
Probably.
I love you guys. Probably.
Probably. We want to say we love you too, but it's an awkward place to put that in. I laugh pretty easily. I love you. Next, I brought back Your Rose Look at Your Boobs song from episode 19. I put that in because after episode 19 came out and Travis and I, we had written lyrics for that, but we never actually did the song parody.
We did almost like an entire song of it.
Almost. But we didn't do a full version of it. And I said that we would do a full version, but it never happened. But for that particular scene, I thought I would bring it back a little, just kind of remind people about it, so that in between episodes, we could probably do a full version.
Does that mean someday we're actually going to do the musical episode?
I don't know about musical episode, but for like a song parody, I would like to do a full look at your boobs.
Well, look at my pants. I wish I didn't have anything.
Next, the name Kimama. I've told a few people about this old-ass inside joke between me and Yoshi. But just as a refresher, this name goes back to when D-Fatman was still with the team. I want to say this is like February 2010. Yoshi, Fatman, and I were in a call. Fatman signed off to go to bed, and immediately Yoshi and I got into our respective versions of Tamama. Back then we used to do basically the same voice, but we were going to trade off on the voice. That didn't happen, but in calls we would constantly play the characters. He would voice Karo, he and I would both do Tamama. So, of course, we got straight into glow stick dildos, transformation machines. 4 hours, this call he and I had, which is utterly insane. And in the writing of this episode and remembering Kimama, I had the sudden realization. Yoshi was 16 when this happened, and he and I were having Karo Tamama roleplay phone sex. Our friendship is fucked up, dude.
Good.
Well, that wouldn't be the first time it happened to me, I guess.
What does that mean?
Look, you don't need to know my life.
But Kimama, the name... So, in this weird scene that I have laid before you, in Fair Verona, where I lay this scene...
The cops come and arrest us all for 16-year-old phone sex.
Way to say it out loud. They went away there.
Yoshi's version of Tamama has briefly turned into a woman. There's a big threesome. I'm trying to remember because somewhere
I
along.
can't say anyone, there's no moaning noises or anything. It's just us being assholes.
Yeah,
before.
like it's not legit phone sex. It's roleplay fan fiction lemons.
I mean, I wouldn't judge you.
Just in case anybody's gonna be like, oh yeah, like for 4 fucking hours.
By the end of it, you're just exhausted and straining.
Hero Comment is right. It's more fan fiction than actual sex. But I'm trying to remember. I don't remember the exact timeline of events, but at some point, Yoshi's Tamama's penis explodes.
How do you remember all this?
Because a couple of years ago, I wrote it down on the website as best as I could remember. I still don't remember every little thing, but how would you forget that insane shit?
Because I was 16 and that was a normal day for me, I suppose.
However happens, Yoshi's Tamama gets pregnant. They give birth. They decided to name the kid Kimama, mixture of Kero and Tamama. Kimama does not look like the baby in episode 21. This Kimama was purple and it had a penis symbol, and I think his first word was penis. Because, yeah.
16.
16. This may have been the halfway point. Maybe it was like an hour in. I don't know.
That's the halfway point?
Yeah, because
You said, no, worst, maybe an hour in. So what did you do for the other 3 hours?
the other 3 hours, we had a sitcom involving Kero, the 2 Tamamas as tired housewives, and Kimama, believe it or not, growing up rapidly. So that actually carried over to episode 22. Some things from that ridiculous shit lasted.
Wow.
And if you want to read more about that, go to TheMidnightFrogs.wikia.com and look up Kimama. I made a page about it because we referenced to it a couple of times. There had to be context.
So if you ever want to be a writer,
Don't.
you know what to do.
Have ridiculous internet frog sex for 4
When you're
hours.
16.
Yeah, when you're 16 for 4 hours.
If you're over 16, then it's already too late.
Well, that was this other thing I did when I was 12, but never mind.
If you're 12, you just get bonus points.
I think I was 11, actually. I don't remember.
That'd be funny after all that being said, we heard the sirens again.
Like, they actually stopped to listen.
What the fuck?
Izzy's comment kind of sums it all up. Your friendship history is a fucking experience I was not prepared for. Moving on. Why Mujo was there? Why not?
I was like, what did he do to the narrator?
That might have been it. Like, well, not that he
Wait,
did
when
it.
did Mujo show up? I didn't see that.
He was in the transition for like a split second.
At the mid,
Oh.
at the mid period, transitioning from Dokuku to the Kimama half. I think it was because I didn't want to just put in the narrator. That's not quite so special.
I thought for sure. I thought it was Guerrero just yelling that just because he was frustrated.
What? The fact that it's later?
The fact that they wake up to fight ghosts and finally they get to go back to bed. They're just damn it, bed. Now that's a character I'll miss writing for is Mujo.
Yeah. We can do new jetters if you want to. It's just
Just for the hell of it.
I'm not making any promises otherwise.
I think the idea of just doing like a couple minute like short skit things would be even funnier.
That's a great idea. Surprised y'all haven't done it already.
See, I always thought it'd be a good idea with if there was still that interest of doing Sergeant Frog and that kind of things there, instead of doing like whole episodes, do kind of like what they did with the wedding scene.
Oh, yeah.
Have it be like a minute and a half long, just do whatever the hell you want.
Because, I mean, like, stretching years back, Yoshi and I were always saying SFA would probably work even better as a Flash series. We just can't animate.
Yeah.
I can animate, but I can't draw. And trust me, it is 2 different things.
So we're still at square one.
Yep.
Like, the only alternate, the only alternates I can think of is like the Ask blogs, where we can just answer questions and write whatever the fuck we want.
Yeah,
So you're basically kind of halfway there. You just need to animate it. That's the difference.
basically. Next, Viper calling Dororo Jerry Curl. He is calling, like, he's not just saying Jerry Curl. That is a Dororo wrong name. But that's actually one of the few that was in this list of Dororo wrong names that I have, which I think we made him like late 2010, early 2011. We put so many Dororo wrong names in there. Very few of them we ever actually used, though. I think the only one we used for the longest time was Hangnail.
And I got to voice Viper's one line.
It was a funny one. Like you were pointing out over the episodes, Viper's become a lot more gooby.
He has. I mean, considering like episode 4, he was actually kind of rather sinister, and then it's just he just goes in to fuck something up and then runs away.
It's me again.
Plus, just making sounds as Viper's fun.
It's me, Vlad.
I was just doing stupid laughs for him. And I know that always cracks Thorn up whenever I do stupid laughs.
Yeah.
He's in a preview clip of just like, the thing is he sent me the line, and instead of just saying laughs, he wrote out the laugh. So it was like, so like I was like sitting there going like, oh, how am I gonna do this? So like some of them just sounded like I was crying. It's like, that one he ended up picking was one that he actually sent me a preview clip of just the laugh being animated.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Kind of in that same vein, I was debating whether I should just half-ass the laugh, like just have him go, blah, 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 blah. But then I decided I'm going to be as accurate with this as possible. Just because it's such a weird way to move your mouth.
It'll sound like he was sobbing at first with the way you wrote it, because it was like, and I was like, oh God. What am I gonna do?
Cocaine's a hell of a drug.
Can't feel my nose because I don't have one.
Does he not?
None of them do.
Oh, yeah.
At least not visibly. Next.
I even had to ask about that one. I know where it comes from, but even like I was just like, did you just for me?
Yeah, I took that from Skies of Arcadia. If you haven't seen that episode, look for the one where I called Game of the Decade.
Yeah, because that's something I said while I was laughing.
I thought it was hilarious just hearing Yoshi in denial, just saying, no way.
Because you can't do that. You have a million sound files. You can't just shit one
Just
out.
get
like
one of your
that.
kids from home to do.
Like, there were kid voices before that clip. How could you not just reuse it? Why that particular clip? You can't fuck that up.
I knew you guys wouldn't be ready for that one. I even warned him episodes in advance, going like, the voice acting is going to throw you off here. It's like,
If you don't know the context, we're doing a Let's Play of Skies of Arcadia. In I think part 4, Game of the Decade, we meet a character called Marco, who has only one little bit of voice acting audio, and that whang is it.
yeah, I just told him because they're all expecting him just like, like be a punk kid, and then he just puts his thumb up with a big smile and goes, and that's it.
Like a dying old man. Part 5, Game of the Decade.
Part 5, okay. When Kero, while he's sobbing, jerks his head up, what other sound could he do, really? How do you kill the mood?
The baby was oddly cute in this episode.
Yeah.
It's saying baby.
Well, it is a baby.
Well, I think it's funny, a baby saying baby.
If anyone's curious, the audio I used for the baby is from the original episode. I didn't bother making a new one. I didn't care.
You didn't really need to anyway. It was
Yeah.
right there.
It was a pain in the ass trying to get audio without the other voice actors in it, though.
I was about to say, I was wondering, because I was like, you either somehow found like audio clips of people recording baby sounds where they said baby, or you took it from the episode, which sounds very difficult. So you probably just recorded himself saying baby.
He was saying Babu. There was very little clear audio for the kid I could use, though. Like, if you listen very carefully, you could probably hear audio where I'm repeating, and I repeated a lot. Next, the kid is actually Albatross, Eater of Worlds. The exact name, Olivia came up with that, because I thought it was great. But the kind of culmination of everything involving Beetlejuice turning into that.
Still think Beetlejuice is one of the best things we ever thought of. Actually, really Yoshi thought of.
Yeah.
Thank you, Yoshi.
We expanded on it.
Yeah.
But part of that was because that's just what happened in the original episode. The kid isn't Karo's baby, obviously. It's not a Coronian, it's a bird. But
It starts as a frog baby somehow.
yeah, it looks Coronian enough that you could buy it. But for this one, it just worked out so well because actually Travis and I are big fans of the relatively new game Bloodborne. The kid being an eldritch monster born from the beetle god was kind of inspired by that. Without spoiling the plot of Bloodborne, there is a huge H.P. Lovecraft influence that comes into it sort of around the halfway point.
And I feel like with a name like Albatross Eater of Worlds, you just see like a life bar appear at the bottom of your screen, which you should have done. That would have been great.
Oh.
Like this dramatic, oh, and the life bar appears.
See, you should have been writing the episode with me. This is what happens.
I know.
Reminds me of a boss in Bayonetta 2 that's just a giant, kind of goofy-looking manta ray that's fucking, the subtitle of it is called The Consumer of All.
Yeah, I was about to say that actually reminded me more of Bayonetta when the book comes up to the screen and it shows you the name of the monster.
Yep. And then you just have that super English, fly me to the moon, as you're fighting.
Would we ever do a Bayonetta LP? I don't think we need to.
I could probably do the original, but I couldn't do 2.
I have both 1 and 2. Maybe I can do 2. I don't know.
I got pretty much gold and platinum all of the first one.
But I can't. I sucked ass at the first one. I got like maybe 4 trophies that weren't stone.
They did make the second one a little bit easier, luckily.
Yeah, I'm doing a lot better in the second one. I don't know if it's just because I'm better or because it's easier.
I still haven't started the second one. I've just been in this frenzy of like playing something else. Right now, I'm just addicted to Fire Emblem Awakening.
Second one.
Because it's such an awesome game. Still need to hit me up with some advice every now and then, because I think I've played that game raw.
I could, but it's like I'm already having so much fun and I'm doing my own research and I want my own thing. Every time I bring up the game, somebody's like, you should do this. No, let me do it. Anyway, we're not done yet.
What do you mean, Karo Kamina? Is it going to be another Kiryu/Keeley scenario? Karo Kamina says, in that Kiryu flies into space and causes destruction across the galaxy. Kind of. Not in such a way that SFA can't continue without him, but that's the general idea.
It says, didn't Kululu kind of fix everything and reset anyway?
Yeah.
Kind of had to.
He's talking about Kamama.
Oh, right.
Going off and doing the same thing.
They're good at unleashing, like, sons and daughters that aren't really theirs and destroying the galaxy.
They're good at taking over planets, but more destroy them. But
I know, right? They can't even take over one planet, but they blow up like a million
the universe.
by accident.
No, here's the best part, though. Kamama is Karo and Tama's legit child. That's theirs. It's just a beetle did it.
That's why I
You know?
What? You know.
Of course. A beetle.
Like, they didn't really answer the question at all. They have just raised even more. The beetle did it.
And we're never going to answer them.
That's fine.
It's just better to not give an answer.
On a little side thing, when that scene happens and Kamama turns into the giant bird, the song that's playing is Velocity Bird by Peter Murphy. I only put that in there just as like a visual joke for anyone who knew the song. It's a bit of an obscure song, but I wanted something that said bird in the title. That was the first thing that came up. And to wrap up discussion of the episode, a couple people had pointed out, yeah, Robobo's line was taken from Peabod.
Human killing arms is kind of the obvious giveaway.
I don't know if Robobo's shtick is going to be Peabod again. I would rather not, because I don't want to just repeat everything we've done before. But I thought it was a good enough intro, at least.
I feel like he's the love child of Peabod and Cosmodar.
Or at least Robot. His faithful robot named Robot.
Yep. Oh, yeah, that's right. Cosmodar was actually... yeah, I played Cosmodar. That's right.
Yeah. Look up the audio logs of Dr. Squid, the episode Harbinger of Choom.
He plays a robot again.
Right. It's probably my favorite episode. It's hilarious. But that's everything for episode 21. If you have any questions, go ahead and ask them. YOLO Swaginator asked one a while ago. Yeah. He's 14.
Okay, fair enough.
He asked one a long time ago. I put it down. Which of our LPs is our favorite? Is it still Sleeping Dogs?
There's some contenders coming up for more of the recent ones. I think Skies of Arcadia and Last of Us are kind of up there. But I think if you're talking about consistency and us not wanting it to end, it still has to be Sleeping Dogs to me.
Sleeping Dogs, definitely. My second favorite would probably have to be Last of Us, just because we're fucking stupid.
It's the dumbest shit we've ever done. And I don't know why, for the one with the most thought behind it.
I even mentioned it in one episode where I just outright say it's my favorite Let's Play. I forget the one, but I just remember it was Joel singing the Pina Colada song with Spider-Man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nobody ever beats Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
Beats Spider-Man.
We just laughed for like 5 minutes.
I laughed really hard at that. Because it lined up too well.
I'm just kind of worried about watching it myself because I played through like the first maybe hour and a half. And I already got really sad. And I'm like, oh God, what are they going to do with this?
Then just stop the video where you're not yet at. And then
I may just do that.
Well, let me just tell you, you're going to learn a thing or two about a watch.
Oh, wow.
Don't worry, the watch dies early.
Yes.
Now, Toaster asked, any LPs you believe you could go back and improve on? Well, I'm not going back to any LPs to redo them.
Are you talking about like more as like us playing better at it? Because like it's that, to me, that's not the point of the LPs really. They're supposed to be entertaining, not necessarily being like, we're the completionists, we do everything the best. Because I know I'm not the best gamer out there. I have fun.
I wouldn't say one that I'd like to go back to, but one that I just wish I was good at. But then again, everybody fucking starts somewhere. Pikmin 1, definitely.
Mm-hmm. You have the benefit of that one being gone from history, at least.
Yeah. I mean, I am going to do the third game, so it's going to be like, remember the second Let's Play?
Remember the second Let's Play of the second?
God. I wouldn't say go back and do Pikmin 2, because Pikmin 2 is actually just fine. Actually, I remember recently I went back and listened to like the first video, and I'm just like, why did you let me in the Let's Play if that's what I fucking sound like? And then I thought, oh wait, that's my Let's Play.
Damn
like,
it.
hey guys, look at the Oh, punch him, please.
Are you talking about our old FATLP stuff?
No, my own stupid voice. Just
punch you for your voice.
The intro to Pikmin 2. Like the intro's like, hey guys, look at him. Like, oh.
Oh no, I did wish you wouldn't do that. No, that's true.
No, I wish you wouldn't do that.
No, you're right. But please go back in time and hit yourself.
Punch yourself in the throat.
Like, yeah, that was like back in 2011. That was still like I was just trying to fucking find my own thing. Now, like, I could do a Let's Play with my eyes closed.
Yeah, you're doing good now. If there any could go back and improve the commentary. I know a lot of people loved our Twilight Princess LP. I feel like I completely forgot how to be funny through pretty much the entire thing. And for a couple of LPs where we had guest commentators, I feel like there were a few of them where they and I didn't really click, and the episode ended up kind of dry. I'm not going to single out anyone, but I do feel like people who fit in with our style basically perfectly. There was redundant. I wish I knew where he was. Last time I talked to him, he didn't respond. It's been years, but he was utterly hysterical. EPM, he locked in with us really well. Hai Wang on the upcoming episodes. Yoshi is also, like, Chaos Argate is in the next two parts, but we're going to get to the Fire Temple, and Yoshi is going to be joining us with that one. But Hai Wang's also in that one as well. It was a lot of fun. But who's going to commentate Bomberman 64? You really want to ask that in this call? You know, Travis, I look back at our Bomberman LPs where you're joking, you're coming with a lot of funny shit. Once they're finally over, now you hate it.
I just love to start. Like, that's all you fucking hear in the background.
Oh, man.
I fucking loved your Bomberman stuff back when I watched it.
I don't understand. It's like the most... Whatever.
Well, I haven't watched it in years, but I feel like I would still like it if I went back to watch it.
I think it's just because I have like no like love for the game at all that like when I get to it, I just completely just make up random shit. Like I just go on like on a tangent.
That's fine. That's what we do.
Constructor X, Travis, come on.
Hey, I wasn't here for Constructor X.
And that's your fault.
This is true. Damn my busy life.
Busy.
You know, looking back, like you're right. Like none of those games look very good.
They're really not.
The first one you played, it wasn't it was on the N64. What was it?
Bomberman Hero.
Bomberman Hero.
Yeah, that one honestly looked like one of the better ones. Like it looks like something I would actually want to play.
It's all right if you're not trying to 100% it.
Oh, good. I don't do that.
Hey, Travis, did you know that if you press start in the Super Massive,
Fuck off.
you can like the
Oh
movie?
my.
That was like the worst like feeling in the world when I thought I was done. And then he's like, oh, Yoshi pointed out that there's other levels. I'm like, no.
I just love the start of that. By the way, Yoshi, fuck you.
Though that does remind me, Saturn Bomberman is an excellent game, but it's on the Saturn and you can't get it anywhere else. So someone did ask what LP was the hardest for us to record.
I think recently, like, I think Bloodborne's one of the more difficult ones we've done. Bioshock, we ran into a couple of problems here and there. Skies of Arcadia is a little bit difficult because of video file types take a lot longer for me to render than some of the other ones. Because it all kind of came down to kind of the same experience, I think, with each one. I think some of the early stuff we had some difficulty just trying to get the system down for us to how to do it.
Mm-hmm.
For me, in recent memory, it was actually Punch-Out. While during that period while I was playing the game over and over again, and when I started doing the Let's Play, I stopped for a little bit because of college. And so when I came back to it, I had to remember all the patterns and how to fight them again. And I was also doing a perfect run where I couldn't get hit at all. So there was just hours and hours of me doing takes. And that was a pain in the ass, but I got through it.
There were a couple of episodes of Last of Us, like one episode of Last of Us we had to redo because we got too stupid.
Oh, yeah, that's true. I did upload the original version of that, though, but I kept it very secret. It's unlisted.
I think I had some difficulty with when I first doing Shadow of the Colossus, mainly just because I was getting a little frustrated because everyone just kept on pointing out, like, oh, you need to do it this way. I'm like, you know what? This is my LP. I'm going to do it however the hell I want. You guys are just going to either enjoy it or not, but don't tell me how to do it. But it's like, I almost have to tell people, like, even like for Skies of Arcadia, warning, I probably am going to miss some of the discoveries. It's just how that game is. There are way too many, and a lot of them are just a pain in the ass to find. And I don't necessarily want to record video of me just hunting for them. So it's not necessarily going to be 100% playthrough. I'm going to miss a chest or two, but it's still going to be an awesome experience.
You're gonna fucking like it.
Just sit down and have fun, goddammit.
Also, I'm trying to work out to where possible I can start going to some conventions and hopefully meet some of you guys. Seriously.
Oh, don't even get me started on fucking conventions, Jesus. I got so mad that day. I was gonna go to fucking New York Comic Con. I was so close to getting the tickets. I was so goddamn close, but by the time I finally got to the page, fucking the 3-day passes were gone.
Comic-Con's like that, though. And honestly, it's a big waste of money.
What game do you guys get the most recommendations to Let's Play?
Bomberman.
Yeah,
That one.
and we're doing more Bomberman, so you can stop.
I know I see some requests every now and then for people like, oh, do Zelda, do this, are you gonna do this, are you gonna do that? I know I saw a comment a while ago asking...
Sonic Adventure 2.
No. I know somebody made a comment asking like, oh, if I'm ever gonna do Xenoblade Chronicles. It's looking like a no right now.
RPGs are hard to do.
Yeah, it's just too time consuming. Like if it was like Zelda, then yeah, sure, totally. But it's just, good God, it's just so big. It's a long game.
We do have plenty of Zelda in the pipeline, as it is. Like, after Ocarina of Time 3D, I'm probably going to do A Link Between Worlds. And Yoshi and I had been thinking for a while of doing Phantom Hourglass and Spirit Tracks.
I kind of wish I had, maybe, I don't know if I could do it on the Wii. Like, I saw someone just put, like, a Castlevania LP. There is one Castlevania I did want to do, but it's on the GBA. So it's like, that's probably not going to happen. I think you can get it on the Wii U, but I don't have the Wii U, so...
Thing is, I didn't hate Phantom Hourglass. I thought it was good.
Yeah, Aria of Sorrow.
I didn't hate Phantom Hourglass either. I liked Spirit Tracks a little more, but I didn't think it was god-awful.
Now, the one that we also always talked about doing, but like haven't really done, is anything Metal Gear Solid related.
We do need to do some of that.
We do.
Yeah, I still have my copy in the back. Because there's just some games that I can't really think of because I just don't... I either don't own them or I just don't want to do it at all. Because after Pikmin 3, I got nothing at all. And I know we also kicked around the idea of just doing, like, not full playthroughs, but just a video or two of, like, some games.
That's a good idea.
I still have the ideas of doing one of crappy games, but it's really hard to sit down and play crappy games.
Because they're crappy?
Because they're crappy.
You really have to want to do that.
Well, the crappy games have to be entertaining at the very least. A lot of those crappy games are so boring and drag so much. Like, I did a stream where I was just uppercutting hyenas for an hour.
Oh, yeah. And you didn't record it.
Well, see, the problem was, like, it ended on a flat note because it's like, hunt this bear. And I'm like, I can't find the bear. Oh, well.
Play big rigs. That would take 10 minutes.
5 minutes, actually. We just picked the track that crashes the game.
All of them?
Thorne, would you recommend Final Fantasy 14 so far?
Actually, that's 18. Just kind of mixed up, but...
Mistyped 18. Would I recommend a Final Fantasy game that doesn't come out for 10 years?
Might be good. It's hard to say.
I do recommend Final Fantasy 14. I like it a lot. It is an MMO. It is an MMORPG. If that's not your thing, I wouldn't spend the full money on a subscription for it. But I don't actually like most Final Fantasy games. But I'm enjoying this one a lot. But it's mostly because I don't care for turn-based combat. This one, it's more active. You know, if you played any MMORPG, it basically plays like that. But I like the settings. I like the design. I like how it plays. I just have fun doing it.
Didn't Final Fantasy 14 have a horrible launch 5 years ago?
I think the version I'm playing, they had changed it. They had brought someone in to rebuild it from the ground up, and they actually referenced that in the game. They talk about this thing called the Calamity. The moons basically fell on the world. Bahamut destroyed everything. A Realm Reborn. There it is.
Yeah, I talked about it with somebody at work. It's like, didn't that game come out 5 years ago?
Yeah, but it's good now.
Oh, okay.
I'm not into Final Fantasy much either. I try to get into it, I can't do it, but 15 actually looks interesting to me.
I really want to play 15 because it looks so stupid.
And there's dinosaurs and they're just driving in a modern day car. And it looks goofy and it's this might actually be the first Final Fantasy that actually looks kind of cool and I actually want to play.
I didn't even know that was going to be a thing yet.
Yeah, they had an E3 trailer. It was called something else for a while. Final Fantasy 13 versus 2 or some shit.
Something like
And then like at E3 they had the trailer, and then like the logo literally exploded and it changed to Final Fantasy 15. And the crowd was like, "Oh my god!"
They went from to A.
Because they started clapping when they saw the guy, because his trailer, like, 'cause they recognized the character, but nobody knows shit about the game. Because he had like a trailer like 2-3 years before, and that was also the same E3 where they finally revealed Kingdom Hearts 3.
Well, Final Fantasy 15, I know I'll give a shit about. FF15, I'm looking forward to. One, I like that it's a contemporary setting. The only other RPG I can think of that does that is Earthbound. So it's a nice change up, though I know from what I've read, that's mostly specific to the country that your characters are from. Some of the other outside countries, I think, are going to be more like the general Final Fantasy design. I do like the combat is more active. It's not turn-based. And it also doesn't seem to be just to press a button to win like Final Fantasy 13. But what convinced me that I will buy it, of all things, to level up, you set up camp. You have actual camping gear. Your combat butler buddy uses ingredients to make food for you. And all of the camping gear is licensed from an actual camping gear company. And that, of all things, told me, look, we're not taking ourselves too seriously. This is just going to be fun.
This is gonna be super goofy. And the way they fight looks kind of cool too. Like in the trailer when he's like hanging on the thing and he jumps off the statue and he's like zipping all over the place. Then he's falling off a building, and then there's like this dude who looks like Cloud, but he's not Cloud. And then there's just a part where they're just driving a fucking car like on the street, and there's a whole bunch of dinosaurs around. Like, what the fuck is going on?
I like Prompto. He's kind of a dickhead.
Is that his name?
Yeah, the blonde guy with the cloud hair. He's not angsty at all. He's kind of a dork. And I like that. The angsty one, your character, Noctis, he's angsty to the nth degree, but it's sort of a comical way, because anytime his friends say anything, he just groans, like, ugh. But not in a way like, ugh, I have to do anything, but like, why are you talking? And his voice is super deep and gravelly, even though he's this young, pretty boy. He's a prince. He's royalty.
Of course.
And he just looks like some jackass. Everything this tells me about this game is that it's just gonna be fun.
Oh, of course I'm getting Xenoblade X. That's amazing. I want to pilot the fucking robot.
Most of the games that were coming out around this time last generation could not have been done on like the GameCube or the PS2. While we're like, what, 2-3 years into the next generation, they're still constantly releasing new games for both, and they're both like of similar quality. Like, I heard that Little Big Planet 3 is basically nearly identical on both the PS4 and PS3 versions.
It's basically Boruto, really. That's how you can compare it.
Well, I know that to this day, the Dreamcast is still getting video games.
Yeah.
Thrown in the garbage with it.
Aw.
There's a whole community specifically towards making Dreamcast games still running to this day. At least it's not like the Saturn.
Yeah, definitely not. And really, the Saturn's what killed them, because they charged like $600 for that thing at the time.
Shit, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Keep in mind, like, most consoles were like 120. You know, it was ridiculous.
Am I looking forward to the new Dissidia? Well, keep in mind, I don't care about any of the Final Fantasies up until recently, and I don't care about fighting games. Final Fantasy 14 and 15 are flukes, as far as I'm concerned.
Really good looking flukes.
I am negatively interested in Final Fantasy.
Anyone else looking forward to Persona 5? I still need to play Persona 4.
I'll play Persona 4 and then I'll.
I'm really excited about it. I played 3 and 4.
He showed us the trailer. It looked really cool.
And I told you that 4 was amazing. Like, Thorn, you have to get over the fact that it is a turn-based, but it's really well done. It's a really well done game.
Like, I'm not even against turn-based. Like, I love Paper Mario.
This game definitely, it really gets you interested in things that you shouldn't be interested in a game. Oh god, I gotta make friends, but first I gotta study for the exam.
I'm more open to turn-based combat more recently, so we'll see.
I'm kind of curious with this game because the last couple had a good cast of characters to pick from. So far, they've shown this game to only have like 3, which I think is a little strange. I'm pretty sure they're gonna make more, but like if they're going a different direction and they're gonna have just 3 characters throughout the entire game, then all right, just make them really cool. Oh, no, wait, that's 3. It's 4. It's 3 humans and one of them's like a cat thing.
I'm gonna try and get into more RPGs. The only one I ever got into was Pokemon, and that's still going. But I got, for my Club Nintendo free game, I got Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga. I haven't played that a lot yet, but I really want to, just to see if I can get into an RPG more.
Is that one on that Game Boy Advance?
Yeah.
I remember that one being good.
I'm a big RPG guy, but because I'm really into story, but there's a lot of them that are just generic and bad.
Yeah, I love story-based games. I mean, I fucking love Metal Gear Solid. It's just something about the gameplay and oftentimes the setting, because so many RPGs are set in like a fantasy setting, and that is just so like not interesting to me.
You'll probably dig Persona then as a series overall, because usually it takes place in kind of a real world scenario, but there is a level of mysticism to certain things. Like it's different. It's stylish, and I love it when people kind of take the stylish twist to things like that.
Yeah, Persona looks great.
Yeah, Persona's another RPG with a contemporary setting.
If I enjoy Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga, I'll probably give Persona a try.
Persona series has some of the best soundtracks ever too.
Oh, yeah.
All the songs are really kind of hip and in tune with things going on. The songs usually either kind of emotional or they're really cool. There's a song that makes you miss playing a game more. Like I was playing a Persona 4 Golden, which is the PS Vita version, I should say, the better version of the two, because it's like the extended cut. But they have like a song that basically just kind of points out that the game is about to end, and it makes you so sad throughout the game because you're just walking around the map and the song's playing, and you're just like, oh man, I'm gonna miss hanging out with these virtual friends.
Gotta take one last virtual exam.
We would take one last trip to go skiing. Plus, the fighting games they made with Arxis are really good too. I've kind of fallen out of favor of Tales of series. Like I just don't really care anymore.
After Symphonia, that was it.
Well, Symphonia, you know what? Honestly, I did like some of the other ones. They had a couple of them that came out for the PS3 that I like to play. Just trying to. Tales of Grace's F was interesting. I like that one. I like the controls in that one. It was way different. It was a lot more complex. Once it got back to Arcadia, Arcadia felt way too simple. And then there was Tales of, oh God, which was it's the one they made a second of recently. But Xillia. The first one I really did like. It was darker than some of the other Tales of games. Haven't played the second one yet, but it looks good. But now they have like all these other Tales of games. I'm just like, I just don't really care. Like I'm just not that interested anymore. And see, like Sega released a bunch of cool stuff like Jet Set Radio, and they'll never release things like that again because Sega just doesn't care. Nope. Jet Set Radio's gone, Panzer's gone, Skies of Arcadia's gone. It's just I don't
like they actually had cool ideas that could have totally rivaled Nintendo's, but
yeah.
But then that Dreamcast happened.
How was Nights?
Yeah, Nights was okay. It wasn't that special.
I know randomly out of nowhere they made a Nights 2 on the Wii.
Yeah, like I remember watching like one review of it and they didn't like it, but I also watched another that did like it. Like I can't tell if like that's a good game or not.
I think it's one of those half and halves. It's like either you're gonna love it or you're just gonna hate it.
It's just not as special as you. It's Echo the Dolphin, basically.
Oh.
In the sky.
Which is another Sega IP as well, Echo the Dolphin.
Oh yeah.
Sega, why do you have to go back to mobile games? Kind of like Konami. What the fuck are you thinking?
I don't know what the hell happened to Konami.
They decided to go mobile games, just like Sega.
It sounds like to me they just kind of gave up.
Yeah.
They just said, all right, Kojima, bye. What, that Silent Hill game that everybody was interested in? Bye. Suck forever? Okay, bye.
God, can we talk about Capcom too? How they're just being so weird?
They've been that way for a long time, though.
Yeah, I mean, before, like a few years ago with the whole Mega Man thing, like they planned like 3 Mega Man games and then they were like, not anymore.
I think I don't know. I think Mega Man it sounds weird to say, but it probably doesn't sell that well. Like there's a big popular hardcore fan base. Don't get me wrong, but like I think a lot of people kind of consider, well, it probably doesn't sell that well. I mean, honestly, like I would like to see them just do like Mega Man games. Why don't you just put them on mobile? Just put them on if you're really that obsessed with doing mobile games now. Put them on the phone.
That would work.
They tried that once. Didn't work.
But I mean,
to
like
celebrate Mega Man being like 20, like it's 20, it was some number of anniversary. They released this game called Mega Man Crossover, and it was featuring this brand new Mega Man who's all weirdly styled, and he has like this fur thing on his shoulders, and he meets up with all the other Mega Men, and he like teams up and has to go back and save them or whatever, and it pretty much turned out to be one of those microtransaction games.
God damn it.
So that really just made people super mad because not only did they just pull the plug on like 3 big Mega Man games, they try to salvage it with an anniversary and it's this. And so they didn't like that. And that's why the game actually didn't come out in America.
And yet, yes, I have played Guilty Gear. I like Guilty Gear a lot. It is really cool.
Like, I don't know what's up with Mega Man. All I know is that if he's in Smash, that's something?
It's basically turning an area where characters go to die, I guess.
Oh.
I mean, come on, he's good as dead now. I mean, he's been dead for years.
And there's Mighty Number 9, which honestly, looking at the gameplay, kind of glad I didn't put any money on that Kickstarter.
Apparently, it's getting like worse. Like everyone's getting excited about it. Like it's just getting worse and worse as day goes on.
It looks, you know what it's like? It looks like the 3D Mega Man X games, Mega Man X 7 and 8, where it was like all weirdly 3D and had those really awkward angles.
Mm-hmm.
The ones that nobody liked.
Yeah, it kind of looks like that.
Thank God for Shovel Knights because like that helped with some of that nostalgia factor because we know Mega Man's never going to go for it again.
Thanks to Shovel Knight, honestly, I'd say if it wasn't for Shovel Knight, maybe yooka-laylee wouldn't even happen. Like a Kickstarter.
Shovel Knight probably saved a lot of people.
Yeah.
It's just good. If you were to tell me, oh yeah, this game is from the 80s, I would have believed you.
The thing is, a lot of those games are so easy to make, but they do so well. Like I'm surprised more people don't do that sort of stuff. And I could see Shovel Knight in Smash.
Yeah, I think it's possible.
I could see him, but I don't think it's gonna happen in this Smash.
Oh no.
Because mainly I just think like that would be an insanely huge honor for an indie company. But it's like there's been other characters before Shovel Knight. But I could see why people would want Shovel Knight more than all the other ones though.
I feel a little bad for that guy who has to read through all those little open submission Smash character things. Like I'm sure they just get an intern to do it, and half of them are just horribly spelled or just dumb ideas.
Yeah, I know somebody asked that question.
No Goku in it. No Goku in it.
I know somebody asked that question and what we would think would be like the best DLC options for him. Like
I said Vice from Skies of Arcadia. Then you have an assist trophy that's Drachma just punching someone in the face, particularly Vice.
It only works when Vice is on screen.
Of course.
It only works if you're playing Vice.
That too. Well, here's the thing, like, my idea, like, kind of already happened, so I don't have to vote for anybody. Like, I was like, oh man, that'd be so cool if they brought Lucas back. Hey guys, Lucas is back! Yes!
I'm happy about that because I sucked as Ness, but I was okay as Lucas in Brawl.
I just thought it was completely unfair for them to take away a character from, like, a small franchise. Like, let him have two. Let him have two, and then they gave it back. So good. If I were to put in a DLC, I don't know. I have a few ideas. Like, one would be...
Dig the Cat.
Yes. Yes!
Boogie!
No. It would either be another mother character. Maybe it would be a tie between Ninten, the protagonist from the first Earthbound. But I feel like he would be more interesting because he's the only protagonist in the Mother series outside of like Ness and Lucas who doesn't have any PSI powers. He does, but he doesn't have any like strong offensive ones. He only has like he's like that weird combination of protagonist but also support class, where his things are like healing and like helping up all the other characters. He's super strong, but that's about it. And he also has like some exclusive PSI powers that he only himself ever got. That's why I think it'd be interesting for him. But the other choice would probably be Kumatora from Mother 3, who would work perfectly as the female representative. And she's also a badass princess who fights with her fists. How could you not want that?
I know we've had this discussion before, but there's one other vote that really does count, and I think you know who I'm talking about.
Wei Shen?
Yes. Wei Shen for Smash Brothers.
I don't think Nintendo would go for our moveset, though.
He'd be so OP. He would never fall off the stage, just fly back onto it.
Like they send an email back. Yeah, for all the taunts, all they said is cop. What does that mean?
I just want to put reason, cop. Or just show a video, like a gif of him like dunking someone's head into the fire furnace, or good, someone actually did vote Wei Shen.
Like runs him over with the car, jumps out of the car, rolls up to them.
I rolled with the scene.
Yeah, damn it! I was gonna say. That's still one of my favorite moments because I can imagine like the noir music and then just him narrating himself rolling out of the car like an idiot.
I just like the ones where the car came to a complete stop, but I still leaped out. Cranky Kong.
Lucas was a support character of sorts, but he still had offensive moves. He still had PK Love and such. So it wasn't just like Nintendo where he had offense up and shit like that.
I'm still torn on the possibility of Bayonetta being in Smash.
I vote for her. I'll pick her over fucking Daisy.
I think that it's easy to get around her like mature shortcomings, because with her final smash would like clearly be like one of her climax moves. Where
It's
she,
called
like,
a climax move.
I know, but I know she takes off all her clothes in that part, but
She
like
takes
if
off
any
all her hair.
hair clothes, yes. Well, like if anything, instead of just like having her hair like slither along her private areas, they could just be covered in a big hemisphere of hair instead, so she's completely covered.
Or they could just make up their own move altogether where none of her hair comes off, and it's just like it attacks them anyway.
How about One Punch Man?
It would be awesome, but he's anime.
How about Goku?
No. Like, still, I can't believe that people are actually like, Daisy, yes, she's the best choice. No.
Yeah, character clone again, yes.
I know, like, first of all, that goes against so many things that people have been complaining about. Secondly, do we really need another Mario character? There's fucking 8.
It pissed me off enough that Dark Pit's a thing. We don't need another one.
Well, my thing for Dark Pit, I can at least excuse him because he's an actual character in the game he's from. And I hear he actually has his own shit, and he's actually a pretty good character. I have my copy, I still haven't fucking played it.
Well, I'm not even talking about as a character. I'm talking about the fact that in a fighting game, let's just have a character that has the exact same moveset and same speed and everything like that. We're just going to change his color to black.
And the weird thing is, there's a black palette swap for Pit, and whenever anybody uses that, it confuses the shit out of me. I think they're playing as Dark Pit.
Another reason why it doesn't bother me is because Dark Pit didn't take anybody's spot. He was just extra. Same with Lucina and Dr. Mario. Therefore, I'm okay with them being in there. If they said something like, oh, Dr. Mario totally took over Wonder Red from fucking Wonderful 101, or he took over Bayonetta's spot, then yeah, I'd be pissed. But if they do nothing and they just pad out the roster, no harm, no foul.
Still want Snake back. I don't know how. I
would actually like Snake for B to be back. I want everybody just who's been in the game to come back.
Yeah, like that's.
Except Pichu. We don't need Pichu.
I'm. Yeah.
And Young Link's already Toon Link. So.
I have a feeling they're also going to try and not be like, okay, you guys want all these people back. I think that for their first DLC, it's going to be like a few characters instead of just like one at a time like they've been doing. And I think they're going to try their best to avoid like every one of them being a character who's already been in. Because everybody wants back Snake or Wolf or Ice Climbers. Ice Climbers can't happen, sadly.
Yeah. It's not even like that they didn't want to. They can't be on the 3DS one.
Yeah. If they're already a background character or a assist trophy, they can't. There probably won't be a character because of that. Mario already has so many representatives, but I think that they could do a lot with a Waluigi character. Kind of do what they did with Luigi in the original Smash Bros. And just develop his character even further in Super Smash Bros.
Or they could just pull off a Captain Falcon. Captain Falcon had nothing.
Yeah, like
nothing, and they put him in the game.
Yeah, that's a better example than Luigi, actually.
Like, all he had was that he was in the manual. And it states, oh yeah, he does this and that. And in the game, he doesn't even show up. He's just in the car. So if they can do that with Captain Falcon, there's no excuse. I mean, even like Waluigi's assist trophy has, like, his racket.
Yeah.
So they kind of have something. Like, I'm okay with having more Mario characters, but, like, as of right now, no. Too many.
I'm okay with it, but let's not do it.
Can we just wait, like, 3 Smash Brothers until we get more Mario characters? I know it's the #1 franchise and you gotta give it all the love, but good God, some franchises don't even get the luxury of 2 characters. They temporarily took that away from Earthbound.
I just bit the inside of my mouth, which I think is a good sign we need to call it.
Alright,
Yeah.
we'll call it.
Alright, guys. Thanks, everyone, for joining us. We'll see you all after the next episode.
Alright, take care, everyone.
Bye, everyone.